How we doing, guys? And it's finished. Arsenal 1, Crystal Palace 1, or should I say Arsenal 8, Crystal Palace 7. Because we won on penalties. But listen, we fully deserve to win that game. If Crystal Palace would have beaten us on penalties and gone through to the semi-finals, then that would have been an absolute catastrophe because only one team deserved to win that game. And in the first half in particular, we were very, very good. But our finishing is just terrible. And it's letting us down right now because we're creating so many chances and we're missing so many chances. That game should have been over by half time. But you give Palace something to cling on to. You give them a little something that they can kind of go, all right, maybe we can be a bit more adventurous in the second half. They weren't really, but yeah, they go and snatch an equaliser. 95th minute, 9 minutes of injury time. I suspected there was going to be a lot of injury time because of the injury that, happened to the Crystal Palace player in the second half. Don't actually know what's happened to him, but got stretchered off, and yeah, it doesn't look that great, to be honest with you. So I wish him well. But yeah, even just before Crystal Palace equalised in injury time, I think it was Timber that dispossessed Guy, and he could have scored, and it's 2-0 and game over. And even then, when they did equalise, we went up the other end and we still had opportunities, and we could have actually moved away from the dreaded penalty shootout, but that's just what we had to go through. But I tell you something, if the Arsenal players have been sitting and practicing penalties, then I'd like somebody to have a little word with Kepa about practicing saving penalties. And I said to my son before the penalty started that Kepa's normally quite good with penalties. And from what I've seen, and not just, in pre-season with Arsenal, where I think he saved 3 penalties in a row. I think it was Newcastle. I can't remember which game it was. I've always seen him be a good, penalty saver. But he was all over the place for some of them penalties. He was diving an hour before the player had even got to the ball. And I'm not even exaggerating. He was diving so early to the point when William Saliba scored the 8th penalty. The players in the centre circle were shouting to Kepa and saying, calm down, stop diving so early, just calm down. And yeah, do you know what? I'm not going to use this as a negative or anything, but I do just kind of wonder whether it's something to do with our training specifically as to why the goalkeepers are doing this. Because I remember David Raya doing the same thing. Now, I can't remember what game it was. It may well have been a pre-season game as well. I think it was the one against Manchester United. Again, don't quote me on it. I know there was a game where if you watch David Raya, he was diving so early. And the players were just rolling it into the other side. Because the way they'd moved so early, it made them mind up of the penalty taker. So I'm looking and thinking, if Raya's doing it, and Kepa's now doing it, when I've not really seen him do that before, is it something that they're doing with the goalkeeping coaches in training? Is it something that they're being told to do to try and guess really early? And, it is luck at the end of the day. They do have to, guess the right way. And yeah, you need a bit of luck, and they will have a little bit of knowledge about penalty takers and whatnot. But it just felt like he was moving so early. And like I said, because the Arsenal players as well were telling him to calm down, it wasn't just me that's noticing this. And I think everybody in the stadium was. But ultimately, he saves the winning penalty. Really good save, and he calmed down. But yeah, before that, the 8 penalties were absolutely exceptional. Bukayo Saka's, I really like that penalty across the ground into the side netting. There's no chance anybody's saving that. Odegaard, decent penalty. Moreno as well. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. There was so many. Jurriën Timber, my word, what a penalty that was. That was beautiful. Calafiori. There were some really good penalties in there. Really, really good penalties. And like I said, we got what we deserved, which was the victory. We deserved to win that game. And now we've got a two-legged semi-final against Chelsea, the shin kickers. And of course, we're going to be at Stamford Bridge first. And then second leg will be at the Emirates. And it's going to be quite interesting because obviously with cup matches, you get a much bigger allocation than you normally would. And, you know, if you look at Crystal Palace tonight, they had basically the whole of the clock end. I think they had about 8,000 in comparison to about 3,000 that they normally get. But obviously it depends on the side of the stadium and whatnot. And obviously we're playing at Chelsea and they've got a little stadium. So I don't think we're going to get 8,000-9,000 there. I think that we'll probably get that whole end. You know, normally where you see the away fans packed into the corner, upper and lower tier at Chelsea, I think we'll probably get that whole entire end behind the goal, top and bottom tier. So that'd be a good atmosphere. And then obviously on the flip side, when they come to the Emirates, they'll probably get the whole entire clock end. So yeah, listen, it promises to be a couple of good games. And of course, a place in the final at Wembley's at stake. We got to the semi-final last year against Newcastle. Wasn't great, was it? But we could potentially be playing them in a final because they play Man City in the other semi-final. So some big games in there for the Carabao Cup semi-final. But it's the first opportunity of winning silverware for the season. And if we could win that, then it could propel us for the rest of the season and really give that belief to the players that they're going to go and win more trophies and that they're capable of getting over the line. So I think psychologically it could be a big thing to win this competition for a lot of these players, getting that opportunity to win something for the first time together as a group could be really good. And when you look at the lineup that we put out there tonight, I think I'm right in saying that my predicted lineup was absolutely spot on. 2 games in a row, I think I've got that bang on the money. But yeah, it's some good performances in there, some performances where you kind of go, I thought in the first half, Martinelli was absolutely superb. He looked Brazilian again. He was so bloody good in that first half. He had the right back on absolute toast and he left him on his bum quite a few times. But it looks like he's picked up himself a little knock. Madueke, there was some good moments, flats to deceive a little bit. Had a really good opportunity early in the game and poor finish. And this is what I say about Madueke, it's finishing that's letting him down. There's so much about his game that's so good. It's just the end product. And that's the difference between him and Saka. Because Saka's in those situations, he will do something decisive, put the ball in the net, lay it on a plate for somebody, but something will happen. Eza, again, flattered to deceive a little bit. Jesus, really good to see some minutes in his legs, and I think he played about 85 minutes, so that'll do him good. Gyökeres got a full break. Declan Rice got about 15 minutes. So, listen, players got some, rest before the game against Brighton at the weekend, but the back line kind of had to go with what they had to go with. But I think maybe Nkapé will come back. Apparently picked up a little minor knock from the Everton game. Just always another minor knock in it. But yeah, I think he'll come back into the side. Calafiori will move over to the left back. But yeah, listen, at the end of the day, it's job done. I'm absolutely shattered. That was freezing tonight. freezing inside the Emirates. But yeah, for me, it was a good night because, you know, Carabao Cup, you get to, you know, go to a game and you can take your kids where you might not normally, you know, be able to take them because of ticket situations, and it's difficult getting loads and loads of tickets and whatnot. But I was with my 10-year-old son tonight, and also a special one for me was that I took my 6-year-old daughter to her first ever Arsenal game. And we kept it as a surprise all the way until we parked up and everything else. And it was quite funny because she said to me, like, "Are you not going to the Arsenal game tonight, Daddy?" And I was like, "Nah, nah." And she was like, "Oh, where are we going then?" And she knows I'm going to football, but she's thinking, "Well, we're going out together here. What's actually going on?" And yeah, when, you know, we turned around the corner and we literally see the Emirates right there, she's just looking and she was like, "Why are we at Arsenal, Daddy?" And then it clocked and she realized, and yeah, she loved it. And I got an unbelievable video of her and my son singing North London Forever, like word for word. Like, I hear them singing it at home all the time, but you know, and she knows all the songs, mainly because of her brother, constantly singing them. But she knows every song, not the rude ones. Before you think about, nah, none of them ones. But yeah, it was lovely. It was really, really nice to just, you know, have that moment. And yeah, that's what football's all about at the end of the day. If you can get those kind of moments and spend them with your kids as well, and just bring them involved in something that's been a major part of your life since I was her age, 6 years old. Been going to watch Arsenal for about 40 years now. Like, it's absolutely insane when I think about it. But yeah, it's a tradition that's passed down through generations of my family. Yeah, man. It's a proud moment, man. I'm buzzing about that. I'm really buzzing. She loved it. She loved it. And as soon as we left and we're in the car on the way home, and she's just chat, 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 chat. And she's just like, "When can I go to the next game, Daddy? When can I go to the next? Like, can you get me a ticket for the next game, Daddy? Like, oh." And then she's saying to her brother, like, "Oh, if you don't go to one of the games with Daddy, can I go instead?" And like, it's lovely, man. It's lovely. But listen, there we go. Yeah, listen, we're through to the semi-finals. So you know what to do if you haven't already. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you lot very soon. I'm out of here.